Right, so we've built our compost heap. We're now going to show the compost heap being filled with organic material. What we're going to do is put some cardboard on the bottom and the side just to hold it all together and to help prevent the contents from slipping out. Nice big chunky sheet of cardboard. Adding a few extra layers to make it a nice thick layer of cardboard at the bottom. It goes without saying that you have to remove from the cardboard any packing tape, plastic or metal, as none of that will decompose. For the first layer of money, you're going to add a few more just to make a nice really thick layer of bedding at the bottom for the worms. And that's phase 1 completed. There's another of our friends, a spider, living in this pile of cardboard. And just moving on to the next phase, just to ensure the sides are well packed. On the side, multiple layers, nice and thick layer of cardboard because it'll all break down and compact quite nicely. Thick, chunky layer to the front there. And here's the blackbird fledgling. It's just amazing how tame this creature is. Well, I'd like to christen this new compost bay with this amazing material, which is coffee grounds. Okay, let's go, let's open the packet, sprinkle it in, look at that. In goes the first bag of coffee. Coffee bag number 2. Bag number 3. Building up a nice thick layer of coffee grounds there. Bag number 4. Put the front door on. Now, in order to keep the whole compost heap nice and firm and solid, I'm using these pieces of wire to get the front door firmly installed. There's an old cereal box, you can just rip this up. Scavenge in the recycling bin for some more cardboard when I go back home. Got rather a few too many bruised and rotten windfalls, so they can all go in. Tip the whole bucket in. Well, I wasn't sure we had quite enough coffee, so I'm just going to add a bit more. Got some more coffee. An endless supply of it. People drink a lot of coffee these days. Like a wheelbarrow full of this stuff in the cafe. I'm not a big fan of eating rhubarb particularly, but it does make great compost, so I'm going to grab all these leaves, gather them up and take them down to the new compost heap. This is all more green waste with lots of nitrogen in it, and the worms will soon get to work breaking this lot down in no time at all. What we've got is loads of dried leaves. The council very kindly dropped these off from the local parks. I'm just going to add a good load of these, and this adds a bit of carbon and a bit of structure, a bit of air in there. Wait for the rain to come along, give it a good soaking. Now that is almost a perfectly nutritionally balanced compost heap. Nothing goes to waste in the compost heap, you know. It's time to add some more coffee. A big bag of coffee from the cafe. And another bucket full of windfalls. Chuck them in. Just got another big bag of leaves down from the leaf bay at the bottom. Let's put some of these on top of the coffee. Also adds a nice layer of air just for compacting. One of the important jobs you have to do when building a compost heap is recycling stuff from the previous compost heap that hadn't broken down. So we've got here pieces of wood, lots of semi-rotted cardboard. So what we can do is just add this to the compost heap as yet more brown, high carbon mixture to go with all our coffee and our greens. Well, it looks like we've had quite a bit of rain overnight. It's given those leaves and the cardboard a good soaking. Another layer. We'll just chuck this on top to add another layer. Oranges, ginger, a bit of cardboard. There's little scraps in the kitchen there. See, I like my chocolate. So good reason to eat more chocolate. So I'll put that cardboard. Adding a nice another layer of carbon to go on top of all that kitchen waste. Again, taking care to make sure there's no plastic of any kind going in here. Just dropped off at Lidl on my way back. In the centre aisle they have all this. Amazing sheets of perfect cardboard. No packing tape, no plastic, nice and thick. Perfect for compost making. I can use this amazing cardboard from the supermarket to help reinforce the sides. Pack them in a bit tighter. And of course the worms will get to work on all this and get it all rotted down in no time at all. That's for that side, and on for that side. Looks like this has had a bit of a soaking overnight. One bag. It's going to add a bit of extra carbon to the mixture. Well blended compost heap. Some lovely dry leaves. I've lost count of how many layers we put on. That's quite a few so far. So these are some teasel leaves that have been growing. They make a really perfect green layer for the compost to go. But they're just leaves, there are no seeds in here. That's the golden rule. Don't put anything with any seeds or roots or anything that's growing in it. That's a nice thick layer. There we go. Just raided the cardboard recycling bins down the hill. Look at this lot. Just right for the compost heap. So we're just going to add another layer of green waste. That'll all rot down completely. Perfect. A windfall of good luck. That's a lot of nitrogen in there, so we need to add extra carbon to the mix to balance it all out. Just add an extra layer of air and lightness to the heap. Spread that out. If you do put newspaper in, you can't put it in lumps like I did there. You've got to break it up a bit. Otherwise it just compacts itself and it never really breaks down. This is something about the Daily Mail, it just doesn't want to decompose. She'll write to the editor and complain about that. And when I was at the supermarket yesterday, they were busy packing the shelves and they gave me all this wonderful cardboard. Fill that gap there so the compost can't escape through the gaps. That side. You guessed it, the best house espresso. 3 bags full. Spread it around a bit. Put the kitchen caddy with this morning. Just tipple that in. It's another very nitrogen rich layer. Right, it looks like our number 1 comfrey plant has stopped flowering, so we can crop it and put the leaves in the compost bin. I'll cut it right off, right at the bottom. All the leaves in one big day. It's quite a big plant, so I'll grow back pretty quickly next year. And off the compost heap with that little lot. And make way for the comfrey. Because comfrey is such a big plant with very deep roots, it's able to reach right down to the subsoil and it pulls out a lot of minerals that are not available to plants otherwise. More cardboard goodies, all completely free of plastic packaging material. Brilliant stuff. All cardboard up front. A thick layer of cardboard will help the compost from spilling out. Also helps to insulate it against the cold in the winter, which is another good thing, keep it nice and warm. So by adding all this comfrey and kitchen waste and coffee, we've slightly upset the balance. Got to balance things out nicely. There you go, balance restored. Coffee liqueur. That sounds nice. I'll chuck some more of that in. That's another layer of coffee done. This is a nice bit of packing material from the fruit box in the supermarket. I'll just tear that up and add it as a carbon layer. That's good. Kitchen caddy. Kitchen waste. A bit of coffee. Pop a bit more cardboard in them, I think. There you go. Otherwise it all caves in. And we don't want that, do we? Job done. Just make sure these big lumps of cardboard are properly torn up. But by doing this, it allows it to be nice and permeable for the rain. Nice layer of carbon and air in between all these layers of nitrogen-rich material. It's Tuesday morning, it's coffee morning. 6 bags of coffee. Just had a bit of rain, perfect compost. Got some more coffee. And these great pieces of cardboard carton, which make really good compost because they tear up quite easily. nice layer of carbon there to mix in with the coffee. There's the kitchen caddy. Taking my strips of cardboard. Nice nitrogen carbon mix there between all that kitchen waste and these bits of cardboard. Back on the coffee again. Well, overnight we certainly had the one extra ingredient I didn't mention, which is rain. The whole thing is completely sodden wet, which is good. These cardboard cartons make excellent compost because they're already kind of half broken down anyway, they're very soft. There's our carbon layer done. Let's add the next layer, which of course is more coffee. And a lucky 6, number 6. Here's some leaf fall from the fig tree. It's a bit green, so probably more nitrogen than carbon, I think, in that. Thanks, fig tree. I visited the supermarket, yielded nice bits of cardboard. Let's just pack these around the edges quickly. That side. The mistake I made last year was not putting enough cardboard in, and the compost tended to seep out from the outside. This year it's all got to be well and truly boxed in, ready for the next layer. Kitchen waste. Thank you, Mr. Crow. That's time for the Sunday collection. Well, you can see the compost heap is building up very nicely. I just added some plant stems I cut down without any seeds in, and some old egg cartons. There's a bit of nitrogen and a bit of carbon. So, next thing to do is, well, guess what? Add some coffee. And some more kitchen waste. Just been to the cafe to pick up a massive sack of coffee. I need that corner. Stop the coffee from pouring out. Well, our compost heap is very nearly full. On the very bottom, layer after layer, cardboard and coffee and more cardboard and green leaves and kitchen waste. Big bucket here full of leaves, let's pop them on. The wind blew all these down last night. There's also these masses of them. So we can add another layer of something extra on top of that. There's quite a lot of nitrogen rich material we've added recently, so it's time to add some more carbon. So let's grab a bag of dried leaves. Perfect carbon mixture, look at that. So now we're going to add a lot more nitrogen, so this is all very fresh green leaves, and because they're green they still contain a lot of the nutrients. So ready for the next layer of whatever we can find. It's Sunday morning, it's coffee morning. Beautiful. And the birds are up early. Let's tip some kitchen waste. 3 bags full this morning. 1, 3. Somebody somewhere is drinking a lot of coffee. What you're hearing is the sound of a large crocodile of school children on their way to the farm, which is a regular event on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Well, the rain has stopped at last, and as you can see, it's all had a really good soaking. It's actually sodding wet, which is good. So we're now going to add some leaves from the fig tree. It's a nice thick layer of nitrogen-rich, fresh leaves, which the worms are going to absolutely love. Here from the cafe. Some pieces of cardboard. Just add some more carbon to the mixture. Good. So the supermarket has yielded more cardboard pieces, and we'll use these to pack the edge in a bit. Here you go. That's good. Nice thick layer of carbon. Get in there. put on the very last of this year's comfrey leaves. Perfect addition to the compost heap. Add a bit more copper on the last final layer. So this is a perfect insulating layer. Nice and warm, keeps the birds out, also lets the rain in to stop the cardboard blowing away. So that's the compost heap finished. I'm really pleased with that. It's a lot of compost, so it's going to make a really fantastic growing medium for next year. Let's allow that to stop composting away, and we'll visit it again in the spring to see how it's getting on.